That's how we usually open our
Oh, yeah.
podcast. So, hey everyone, welcome back to a collection of blueprints. And today we have this guy. I met him about 7 years ago in London. Dom with the last name Rapson. His writing is fantastic, as you can see it. So Dominic Rapson, who came to Indonesia now, how long ago now?
It was 2 years actually, 21st of May.
21st of May, 2 years ago. So when I met Dominic, basically, I was actually in East London Gymnastics in this little gym doing some kind of pole acrobatics, like human flag moves. And Dominic was like, he comes over like, dude, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, I know it's cool. And then since then we kind of had a little chat, and then I found out what he's doing. And actually he was the reason why I started doing intermittent fasting at the time. Because you were the third person who was like very convincing and telling me the benefits and all those things. So it was amazing. Anyways, Dominic, so thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, man, pleasure.
So what we're gonna do in the first segment, straight away, just gonna want to talk and find out more about where you're from. Tell me a little bit about where you were raised, about your school, your family.
Fair. So, born and raised in Brazil. So, spent 10 years of my life growing up in Rio de Janeiro.
Oh shit, I had
no
idea
about that, yeah. Well, because I speak English now like an English person from England, so... But yeah, Portuguese is my first language. Grew up there, grew up in the sunshine.
For this.
Grew up going for this. Você sabe pouco de português.
Oh shit. I just opened the gate.
Yeah, opened the gate. You've been playing with a lot of Brazilians in Jiu-Jitsu at the moment.
Jiu-Jitsu in Brazil, and I also did capoeira.
You've been doing capoeira?
I did capoeira for 2 years in Vancouver. So yeah, and I was like, everyone is singing, clapping. I'm just like, what are they singing? It was kind of a little bit annoying with that, but yeah. So I know Fodes Caralho, and one of my best friends is from Portugal, from Lisbon.
Okay, love Lisbon. But yeah, Portuguese from there is a different breed.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, man, like similarities there as well. In Brazil, obviously, when you're in school, you're playing football, you're doing capoeira, and you're doing swimming. And if you surf as well. So yeah, it's a lot. And
that's a sick combo. Fuck, I love it.
Yeah, also judo. Started off doing a lot of judo before I did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
All right.
Because like actually Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is more like a, kind of was like a low class thing. If you were in private school, which I was, it was judo. Because judo, you got the chance to be in the Olympics.
Right.
You know, like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was kind of like a free thing in the favelas.
And it wasn't big at the time. It's big
when I was
only.
growing up, not so much, yeah.
And it's big internationally only because of MMA. UFC and all that stuff.
I mean, there's certain guys out there that in the 90s were pushing like amazing, like, you know, were mixing judo and wrestling into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as well.
I actually just recently watched Gracie. Well, one of the great, I don't want to say which name was, but one of the Gracie brothers. Because of him, he was still the only one who's won 3 times at the time MMA championship and representing BJJ.
Right.
And he was actually the one who put the bricks in on the people were like, oh, BJJ, what is that? So
yeah, stoking. I mean, so grew up like that, and then I moved to England, and then I spent time between England, the Caribbean, and the States.
What was the reason for you to move to England? What happened?
Basically, it was getting quite expensive to be in Brazil, to be in a way sheltered from all of the violence and everything there.
Right.
If you live in Brazil and you have some sort of wealth, you've got to be very sheltered because violence around the corner. I've seen a lot of crazy crap. I've seen massive robberies in my family, things like that, at gunpoint. I've seen a lot of crazy shit.
What city were you in Brazil?
Rio de Janeiro.
Rio de Janeiro. Was it like center or somewhere around?
I lived first in Ipanema, Leblon, and then Copacabana.
Oh, wow.
So I was in between those areas.
I know about Copacabana only because of the song.
Yeah. And
that was the name of the place actually in a film called Mask, wasn't it? Copacabana was where they did the dance. Mask. Jim Carrey was the guy.
Mask. I don't remember it well, but I think I did watch it. You mean the Green Mask?
Character. Yeah.
And Brazil's kind of gnarly in that. Well, it used to be more gnarly. It's kind of changed a little bit in certain areas. But I also spent time in Barra de Tijuca. That's another place that I used to live. Because of my grandfather. So my grandparents were there quite a long time. My mother decided to take me to England then because she could afford better education for me and it was safer. Funny enough though, I got into more like crime and issues and knife points and fights in England than I did in Brazil.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like London's way more dangerous.
Fuck's sake. Well, yeah, London is notorious, especially for like knives. Like it's crazy.
Bro.
Yeah,
so I got robbed way more in London than I did. And I was just a scrawny little kid back then, you know.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So your parents, what did they do for a living? Was it for you? You already said like just in Brazil, you were moving from different places.
Yeah.
Was that connected to something because of their work?
No, not connected to the work. More connected. We had like property and land there as well from like, the grandparents. So moving to different places with them. My mum and I always lived with my grandmother also, and I spent time with my grandfather and my mum and my grandmother. And just moving around like normal, not because of their work. My mum, it was a big entrepreneur. She moved around, and it's kind of where I get this from as well. It's like we master something or we do well at it,
and then you move on.
And then we're bored. We're like, I don't care if it still makes me money. I want to go and do something else. So my mum was always moving. I mean, she studied hard. She went to become a professional ballet dancer she did ballet in New York. And then obviously as age came and injuries, that didn't work out so much anymore. Then she did all kinds of business. She studied loads of different things.
Oh, wow.
Like she even went back to university at the age of 40 to do other stuff again. Like she just always was on a mission.
Really cool.
So yeah. So
and what about your dad?
My dad was based in Barbados. He's been in Barbados 50 years now. So that's where I get the Caribbean side. I got citizenship to Barbados. But I only reconnected with my dad and decided to live there when I was 18.
So that means your dad wasn't around really when you were a kid?
No, I'd go there on holiday. And then he'd go to the States with me. We'd go and explore the States and then come back to Barbados. And then I'd go back to Brazil or England. Right. So I was only seeing him once or twice a year at most. Or if he came to visit Brazil.
As a kid, when you were growing up.
Yeah.
And then you had brothers, sisters as well?
5 stepbrothers.
5. So it's all presuming dad.
Yeah. Dad got around.
Dad got around. Oh, shit. And dad was by nationality Caribbean? English.
White English. Mother is black, African Brazilian. Yeah.
Oh, shit. That's no, I just wondered, like, I assumed that your dad should be like not English. I'm threading very lightly.
Dad's full British, blue-eyed, white, and my mum's side has got the Caribbean, Brazilian side. Yeah.
Right. Okay, and then you have how are you getting along with your stepbrothers? You said 5 stepbrothers.
5 stepbrothers. Yeah.
And no sisters.
No sisters.
Oh shit.
Yeah, no sisters. We ain't got time for that.
Wow. Dad was just like, making boys. Okay.
Yeah, strong genes.
And how are you with them?
Yeah, great. I mean, they're amazing. They've had a big influence on me. And my brothers are one was like one of the best windsurfers on the island.
No.
2 of them are like one of the best surfers. They charge massive waves. They're entrepreneurs. All own many businesses, their own businesses. All they were bodybuilders, so I was around these big guys. So
wow,
and they're always like, even when I was 9 and still had like a little kid belly, they were like, hey, get rid of that kid belly.
That is cool. So you had a pretty cool influence and someone to look up to.
Yeah, I guess it got absorbed into me.
But then did you live together with your 5 brothers, or there was
No. But by the time I went out to Barbados, or when I was going out there on holiday, they're already like married men and already starting to have kids.
So you have quite a big age gap.
Yeah, the eldest just turned
75.
50. 75. No, dad's 80.
Your dad is 80.
Dad's 80, and he's still freaking strong and like crazy young.
Still making brothers.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, bro. But he's crazy strong. Like.
Oh wow!
So the genes, the Rapson gene is very, very strong. Yeah, all my brothers are still going hard, like everything.
I'm so glad that I started doing podcasts, because I never would know this information from you.
Yeah, bro.
How often do you go like, hey Renars, let's do trampolining? Tell me about your brothers.
Yeah, well, are we gonna land that double backflip today?
Nice. And that was another place where, so since Dom is here and I've been in Bali now for 6 months, we've seen each other twice. Yeah. Dom is super busy doing all his stuff, and one of the times I actually saw him was
some serious connections since being there and stuff.
Yeah, he saw me on stand up. He was like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" It's like, I don't know. I just do my thing. And doing trampolining. Dom is doing everything. We're gonna get to that. Okay, so that's about your family. And so moving to England, and in England you lived in how many different? You lived in London, but then I know when I met you, you lived where? Brighton, yes, yeah. The big capital of gay.
That was a good time.
You fit in right in there.
I was loving that. That's actually where I met my partner, my girlfriend.
With your girlfriend. Oh, yeah. Well, that's what anyways.
Yeah, she kept me clean.
Okay, so how did you end up in Brighton?
Well, there was a lot in between that actually. So
okay.
obviously I was in London when I moved from Brazil I moved from Brazil to England at the age of 10 going in 11.
Oh shit.
And then, so my mom at the time was also an English teacher as a side job. She owned a bikini company selling in the Caribbean, which was booming. And then she also, what else did she do? I can't even keep up with what she did. But then she was also teaching English to private school kids on the side in our home. Wow. So I was learning English at the same time at around 8-9 years old with them. So I came to England with a little bit of English and then went straight into primary, like the end of primary school in England and then in high school. And studied in England, did college, then a bit of university as well. And I was just a skate rat then. So I wanted to be a sponsored skateboarder. I got a few sponsorships. I was skating really hard. I was getting really well. Shit. And then I also got into being in a metal band. So I was just that full skater life, you know, like metal band, skate life was that's all I saw myself. And then what happened? The band dissolved. Skating, the injuries, it was getting too hard to keep up with the level.
What did you play in a band? Because I used to play in a band.
I was a vocalist.
You were a vocalist?
So I was screaming my head off, yeah.
I was writing songs, I was playing guitar, rhythm guitar, and I was main vocalist.
Boom.
But I was the shittiest.
Bro, you do too much. I just wanted to get drunk and high and run around on stage screaming. I didn't have time to play the guitar. I did play guitar and drums. I learned it, but not in a band. I wasn't interested.
Oh, dude, like for us, it was because I grew up in a very small town in Latvia. It's like 6,000 people, and oh my God, Viljani, yeah, that is one of the smallest towns there is. And two of my best mates, they all very musical. They come from musical families. My sister also used to play piano, and she's way more talented musically than I am.
Bro, all Latvians are always super positive and alternative people. Like every Latvian
I know what happened with me. And well, the ones who you meet, they made it. You know what I mean? Like they wanted to get out of that.
I have a lot of Latvian friends, and they're all like just really different. Like their appearance, their way of thinking, just super positive people as well.
Yeah.
They're always doing stuff.
Well, again, I'm going to repeat myself. It's those who made it. They just wanted something else in their life, and especially in Latvia, for those who see themselves doing some active stuff or meeting people. It's just in Latvia, it's too small. It's just like anytime when someone says like, "Why would you move out of the country?" I would say this. Check this out. You have a house. You have two shops outside your house. One is tiny with like very small amount of different products, and the other one is a supermarket with all the possible options. Which place you gonna go?
Yeah, they're all falling into
exactly. It's simple. It's like
convenience.
And but also like, it's the only probably what I needed to add to that analogy would be to say that the supermarket is a little bit further. That would be the only thing, and with little obstacles on the way. So you have to take a bike or you have to take a bicycle together. Yeah, everyone just lived that little thing, and they just like to be in that little bubble. And also, since I've been in Bali in 5 months, I met one girl, Latvian, but then from nowhere, this friend of mine is like, "Hey, dude, there's this Latvian villa party." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" "No, seriously, yeah, like Latvians organizing." It's like, out of everyone, okay. So I got there, dude, villa huge. The fire performers, the go-go dancers, the DJ, free booze, like as much as you want, right? And I met 30 Latvians there. There was
super cool.
There was like 6 of them that were organizers, and they said like, "Oh, we just organized in the last 24 hours." And it basically, as I got in there, everyone was just posting on their Instagrams and saying where they are, and then they just got like 200 people came in. Whoa. And then around midnight, at midnight, everything got canceled because of the cops came over and all that shit. And they were happy to pay like I don't know how many millions there, just to
get rid of this diffuse situation.
Yeah, but whatever. So yeah, and then going back to my story with the little town and my friends, so we all sang in a choir, and then we started partying together and everything, and we used to sing in the church choir, which is the coolest thing ever. So you go get drunk, and next day with your hangover just in the church choir and singing.
Oh, wow.
And so then when we moved away from this little town, we all moved to Riga, to the capital, and I felt straight away like we're taking these different directions. So I went in one university, they were in different ones, and I was like, "Listen guys, guys, how about we get together and do the band thing? And so, yeah, one guy started playing bass, the other one is playing drums, and he's still playing drums as a pro drummer.
Yes,
yeah. And then I was just like vocalist and singer and whatever. But it was mainly just getting together, having a beer, having a jam. Yeah, that was the main thing.
That brotherhood there is pretty good.
Exactly. We did a little bit, couple shows here and there, but nothing big. But I love that feeling, you know, being on stage, and that's pretty cool. So we can share that. That's awesome. Man. Okay, going back to you. So skateboarding, being all the metal stuff, and it's almost, and you kind of visually do remind me a little bit of Anthony Kiedis.
Anthony Kiedis?
Anthony Kiedis, Red Hot Chili Peppers main guy.
Oh, right. I've never been into Red Hot Chili Peppers that much.
Oh, that's crazy. Like his thing was he never wanted to play instrument. He just wanted to jump around the stage and just do his blah, 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 whatever, the singing. And his singing was horrible at the time. He did a lot of vocal classes, and it's still, the story goes, one time he got on the big stage, like thousands of people, and he couldn't get in tone to sing his song, and the crowd did it for him.
Oh, really? That's hilarious.
That's a funny story.
That's pretty funny.
Okay, so
yeah, from there, I pretty much got sick of the city life, got sick of winter, and I moved to Barbados. I said, like, hey, Dad, I'm coming to live with you. So went to live there.
How old you were when you moved to Barbados?
I was turning 19 soon.
Oh, okay, yeah, so 9 years you solidly live in London without moving anywhere around, and it was enough for you.
Yeah, just I traveled, obviously. Like, my mom's very adventurous. So my mom was the kind of person, like, should say, it was literally like this. You're going to eat pot noodles for 4 months while I save up for us to go on this epic trip. And don't ask for any bloody Christmas presents or fucking birthday presents.
I love your mom.
We're going to go traveling. I was like, all right, sick. So, I mean, like, the first 2 years in England, when I turned 12, she took me to India for a few months. And we stayed in an ashram, we did meditation. She was like, you're going to learn about religion and you're going to pick your own one.
Dude, your mom
I was brought up a Roman Catholic as well.
Your mom is amazing.
Dude, she's epic.
Wow.
So did India for a few months. Then we're traveling a lot. So then where else did we did? Went to the States. I wanted to be a marine biologist at the time. So she took me to all the marine biology places, took me diving with dolphins. Took me to Egypt, Sharm el-Sheikh, got me my dive certification, got me into scuba diving at a young age. She married an Egyptian guy out there as well, so we're going to Egypt quite a lot to do diving, and he was a dive instructor as well, so I was getting all my dive coursings and stuff like that. So it's pretty epic. And then I was snowboarding a lot, so she was paying for me to go all over Canada, France, Italy. I was snowboarding loads. She just wanted me to be diverse, and see different things. Yeah, we were traveling all over, man. Like,
that is so cool.
All over, like.
Dude, till I was 18, I never left my little fucking town.
Oh, really?
Yeah, never, because my parents would never travel.
Damn, yeah, I was crazy. Just used to constantly making new friends and moving around.
And then when I was 18 and I moved to, the capital and started studying and stuff, and then like some opportunities came, like I could go there and there. And then I went to Norway and I was like, oh my God, this is beautiful, place. Yeah, and I got my master's, I did my master's degree, part of it there. And then from there, and I was like, the world is just amazing. Why the fuck I haven't traveled? Yeah, and it's like, but one of those things. But your mom, dude, it sounds amazing.
Yeah, I've always had that yearning, which I'll come back to how it affected me later down the line. But so in Barbados, I got like a grace period from my dad, obviously, because my dad and my brothers had their own businesses, doing everything. So I worked a little bit, but mostly I got to be a freaking beach bum. Like, my hair was bright blonde from the sun. I was like just dark. I was just surfing. Non-freaking stop. I'm one of those people, I'm obsessed with something. I gotta get good at it or a decent level at it before I stop. So I was surfing all the time, and I started spearfishing, which my brothers always used to do. So I learned spearfish. My brothers, when I was going on holiday, were teaching me things that I never shot the gun yet, but they were taking me diving for lobsters. They were taking me surfing. So then, I was pretty much just smoking a lot of weed and surfing, diving all the time, and working a little bit and just being supported by my dad, which was kind of cool because for not really being there that much, he fully supported me to allow this beautiful life of freedom to experience the Caribbean like that. So I got really good at surfing, really good at diving.
Because your dad was based in the Caribbean. He lived there the whole time.
Barbados, and Barbados is tiny. Right. So my family is big and really well known, and everyone knows everyone in Barbados. So I had like all the connections right.
And was your dad okay for you not being one of those like, you have to get a real job and stuff, like, or your dad just didn't care? Or
no, he pushed at it a little bit, and then eventually, but he knew like there would be times like he'd be driving me with him to help him do some work, and the swell would be massive, and he'd see it and he'd be like, this doesn't always happen, so nice. Go. you know, because he knew from my brothers. Like, my brothers would like pretend like they're going to school, ditch their clothes like in a bush, and have their surfboards behind, like hiding, and go surf. My brothers are nuts. Or they would like borrow. My brother at a young age, instead of going to school, would borrow a fisherman's little rowing boat and row out miles out at sea and go spearfish by himself. So he kind of knew the mentality, and he knew the feeling, you know.
And then, so your stepbrothers, were they from the same other woman for your father, or
No,
that was?
There was 4 different women. No, three. Sorry, 3 different women.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so my
Dad's,
mom, they have 2 brothers, 3 brothers from one, 2 brothers from another.
your dad has been around. Fuck me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then, so can you
But
see
it's kind
like
of the Caribbean lifestyle.
really?
It's really weird. Like I didn't tell you that all this time I was in a really long relationship, and I was married as well. I got married in Barbados to this girl.
You got married?
I brought over this girl from England to Barbados to experience this lifestyle with me. So we're doing long distance, and I was like, I don't believe in marriage, but I was like, you know what, this is the only way for you to get citizenship, and I want to enjoy this life. And we've already been together like 6 years. We had a total of 9 years together.
All right.
Yeah, and so...
And then you brought her to UK, or
No, I brought her to Barbados from the UK.
from the UK to Barbados?
She was a really, really wealthy Jewish girl, but she was amazing, sweetest girl. And like really difficult family, but she just saw the enjoyment and fun with being with me. So she followed me to Barbados, and we had a freaking amazing relationship for quite some time. But as I was telling you, like my dad, the nature of the Caribbean and the island and its sexuality and thing, it destroys relationships.
Really?
Man. It's very hard. Everyone sleeps with everyone.
Well, it's kind of Canggu, isn't it?
It's kind of Canggu, but imagine that across a whole island, and then everyone knows and everyone bickers. So, long story short, things went sour with that. But I was that's how it is there. And then I got into my first job out there was actually guttering.
Guttering. It's like
so making gutters and putting it on big villas and stuff like that, like gutter specialists.
Okay.
So we'd have this truck that would make the gutter right there. We'd mold it and do a whole villa over like a few days or so in the fucking hot sun. Like,
how long did you do that?
Until I got fired because I kept calling in sick whenever there was a good swell. And then obviously the island's small, so they're like, then let's see your worker surfing instead of working. I got fired, obviously.
Oh shit.
I was like, fuck this job. And I'd never dealt well with like conforming to people's rules and having a boss. I always had that. So after that, my dad invested in me to do some professional diving courses so that I could actually like work professionally as a scuba diver. So I did that, worked for that as a while. Obviously fell out with some bosses there as well because they don't do well with rules and stuff in that way. And then I went back to England with my wife at the time. And in England we got some like normal jobs, and we just started bodybuilding as well. So now I was like, I went back to England to do my final courses in public safety diving and PADI instructor.
Yeah.
And I did a few jobs in that, and then I was working at different like retail stores, which obviously I moved from. I didn't ever got fired there. I was a bit more behaved, a bit more mature, but I was moving from one to one whenever I got bored, just making money to pay the courses, pay my flights back to Barbados and stuff like that. Got into bodybuilding, so started bodybuilding a lot, doing shows, started studying nutrition, the crap nutrition, they're like bodybuilding stuff. Started getting into fixed gear riding, so I was a fixed gear rider and a courier as well, like just racing on the streets. I was just keep myself entertained, went back to skating. Then after a year in England, we went back to Barbados, got better paid, better work with diving out there, did that for a while. Then I started doing my own. I opened my own company, finally became an entrepreneur in that sense, started a CPR business, doing all of the corporations in Barbados. And then shit started going sour with the relationship. And then we were going for a divorce. And I used that to pretty much ruin my reputation on the island, long story short. So I was like, okay, I'm going to leave. So I just sold everything I made there. All the companies closed everything. And I was like, hey, Mom, I'm coming back to England, but I don't know where I'm going to go. And she's like, come to Brighton. I'm in Brighton now. I was like, dope. I hate London. So went straight back to Brighton, started studying it. And she was like, look, just use this time to mend yourself, focus on yourself. So I went a year with no girlfriend, no sex, no going out, nothing. I just studied. And that's when Origins started being made. I started studying all of the nutrition. I started traveling using the money I had left. Traveled with my mom a bit. That's where I started doing the tribal studies. I went and stayed with different tribes. I already had some tribal experiences from Barbados with the Arawaks, from Brazil, and I decided to carry that on, nutritionally based now. And I started to develop Origins of Nutrition. I got a little crappy, after my money ran out, I got a little crappy job again, but working in a juicery. So making like raw juices and all of that stuff, and then learning about that stuff, and then realizing how bad that shit was. And then I was just like, fuck it. I'm not working for anyone anymore. I've finished my qualifications. I've come back from my trips. This is where I learned about intermittent fasting. This is where I learned my tribal experiences.
And what was that? So how old are you now?
30.
You're 30.
Yeah.
Jeez, still young man. Wait, so we're going to continue talking about your origins specifically and about other stuff in the next segment. Right before we finished the first segment, it was just like you went, I did this, I did that, I did this. I couldn't even keep it up, man. It's crazy.
I got a bit excited there. Sorry if I spoke fast.
No, dude.
There's a lot to fit in that
that's totally
time frame.
Fine. Yeah. But that is something what... I think as more things you do, as you have this different understanding, and I think it's also the assurance that if anything goes down and you just all of a sudden there's no way, you don't know what to do, when people don't have B plans, they just work their corporate office jobs, and also their jobless, they don't know what to do. In your case, you can do any of those things. Go do scuba diving, go do whatever. So, and I love that about people when they have those different experiences. So with the scuba diving, I got my license in Malta about 3-4 years ago. And I think scuba diving, as I call it, is a slow motion of skydiving. Yeah. Because when you do skydiving, it's like you have a minute of free fall, and then you have to do all those things. And the scuba diving is just like...
looking around.
Yeah. But obviously, I haven't done enough scuba diving, and I just did in Gili Islands. We just came back from Gili Islands.
Beautiful.
And just that idea, we were about 20 meters down, and these sea turtles just like sitting and looking at you, and they're massive ones. And
I used to wrestle them.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Are we allowed to touch them?
No, not here.
Here.
When I was in Barbados, we were part of the
rescue?
sea turtle rescue.
So
we had to tag them.
Right.
Sometimes you had to get the big ones. Oh, man, that was rough.
Right.
But yeah.
And what was the reasons why you needed to get them out and pick them up? And
because hawksbill turtles, not the green turtles, but hawksbill turtles populations were dwindling.
Right.
And so they're very protected, and so they're well monitored. And so a group would always come out with us, and we'd lead them through the reefs where we've seen them the most, and we'd help them catch them, bring them up, measure them, check their health, everything that, and then set them back in the same place.
Do that all documentation about the ones who are left.
Size, approximate years, shell health, bloods, everything.
How are they? How many types of sea turtles are there?
Oh, it's loads.
Really?
Yeah.
What is the type we have here in around Bali?
Here we get hawksbill, we get leatherback, we get green turtle, and I think we get another one as well, which I can't remember the name. You get leatherback, hawksbill. There's one I'm forgetting. Loggerhead. Loggerhead's the other one you get here as well.
I haven't heard any of those names.
Yeah.
And so, what are the big ones? The ones we see in Gili Island, or
most likely green turtles and hawksbills. Leatherbacks are ridiculously big. They're the largest.
Really?
And they have like a dark blue purplish with dots.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they're very rare though.
Next time we're gonna try to pay attention to those things. I just remember like, this is a sea turtle. There's just one type of sea turtles. Because when
look, this is the hawksbill.
Hey, those are the ones I think we saw.
Yeah, with the beak. The jagged shells.
With the beak, with the beak. Yeah. That's so cool. As a kid, I saw a turtle once in my life. My dad brought it from a place called Dushanbe. It's is it Kazakhstan? I don't even remember.
Yeah, a tortoise.
Tortoise, yeah.
I saved one of those once in Barbados from the side of the road.
Oh shit!
And it pissed all over me. I was like, out the car window.
That was a defense mechanism. It's like, oh, you guys, you gonna pick me up? Fuck you! Oh shit! And when my dad brought them, and we had it for a while, and then it just disappeared. And we had these we thought, oh, it's still alive somewhere after like 3 years. What if it's like big comes back? Yeah, it's probably dead.
Knocks on your door.
Knocks on your door, let me in. Tortoises. But it's funny, like in Gili Island, they don't have dogs. Yeah. And I'm actually doing my set today, the stand-up set. And we doing in Follies. There's another place we do two. It's like it's a stand-up lab where we practice. We're trying our new jokes.
Practicing.
Yeah.
Cool.
And one of the jokes runs like you hook up with a girl and you ask her like, oh, what do you doggy style? And she would be like, what's doggy? and then you show her, oh, you mean turtle style? No, dogs are fucking.
That's so funny, and like stretching out their nose.
And then there's this video which was running around where the two tortoises were fucking, and it was like,
was that on Kiddies?
I'll be like, I will do that style. Do you want to do that? And then a friend of mine, she scuba dived with us, Kelsey, one of the stand-up girls. She said that when they do this on each other, that means they're ready to mate. Is that true?
That I did not know.
Yeah, she said like when they kind of do this
towards each other.
Yeah.
Interesting. No, I didn't know that.
Well, maybe she was just making this up.
Just chatting breeze.
Just chatting shit. Okay, Tortoise says, cool. Now, yes, origins, nutrition. So how did you come up with the name?
So everything is based off of what is the origins of mankind, what are the human foundations to existence and longevity. So that's why I call it origins. So the full name is Origins of Vitality Nutrition.
Right.
So what is the origins of vitality? Where is our vitality? Where did it come from, and how do we prolong it and keep it? Right.
So it's like almost like how we develop the best fuel for cars when they race, and what would be the best option for
the human body. What is the original nutrition for human beings?
And then this happened how long time ago now?
Origins?
Yeah.
Oh, Origins has been in the making since I was 23.
Okay, so 7 years now.
Yeah, 7 years.
Right. And when you decided, what made you to think about this?
I went for a journey. So while I was in Barbados, I went for a journey of being vegan. I spent a lot of time with someone.
You told me, I remember. Actually, the first time we met, I was like,
yeah. So I went through the journey of Ayurvedics. Obviously, not the real Ayurvedic, not the Ayurvedic I witnessed in Brazil as a kid, but Ayurvedics of bush medicine, New Age philosophies, New Age religion, and Rastafarian mixed in, permaculture, but like a false permaculture as well. And a lot of the people that were practicing this, I spent a lot of time with them. I got into a lot of yoga and things like this, and was going through this New Age spiritualist movement. And being vegan, suffering from that as well after 2 years of trying, and noticing that all the people around me that were vegan and that were in these like practices were all dying of minor infections, were all dying very frail and very young, were prematurely aging. I was like, something's wrong here. So then I switched back, but I knew that bodybuilding wasn't good either. So I didn't want to keep following and studying bodybuilding diets and practicing that, because working with like bikini athletes, men's physique, and just seeing the amount of drugs, supplements, and how like the quality of their body was actually bad. They may look like they're strong, but inside and you look on the skin surface, it looks really bad.
Dude, like, so I can throw in some my experience with this. Did I tell you that I used to do Dream Boys? I did the like a stripping.
I think you did mention that.
Yeah. So I did for 2 years. I was touring across UK, and it was like a Magic Mike concept. We didn't go fully whatever, but
to the speedos and all
and it was
that,
it was all about man's physique. And we had this one guy, like a super kind of very bodybuildery type, and he did take some steroids, but without steroids, every morning he woke up, he would had like a half a glass of this with pills, with all sorts of, and I was like, so what is this? And he's like, oh, that's for that, that's for this for that, that's for that. Literally like that amount, and he just chugs them down every morning. And he is a physically, like, I mean, I never, one of the easiest way to check who is physically strong, like get them in jiu-jitsu.
There you go.
Test their strength. But you can just see like he was getting out of energy very quick.
Fit looking but sick.
Yeah, and he could just does all that. And
that's what we have: fit looking but sick, or just sick.
And that's where I knew straight away, like this is can't be good for you, man.
And these are the people that are like, no, you gotta trust the science. No, we're not corporate tools. You're not a corporate tool. Look how unnatural you are as a human being. You're taking all these supplements and doing this and that because so many companies are telling you it's good and blah blah blah. but you're not actually researching the biochemistry of the body. And this is what led me into Origins of Nutrition. I was like, I can't trust everything I'm learning in the courses, and I can't trust everything that people are telling me. I can't trust religion.
Because someone else is pushing the agenda.
I can't trust any of it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to follow a dogma, and I don't want to just follow somebody that sounds convincing. I want to understand deep down what every cell, which is functioning every second of the day to keep me alive, what brings it homeostasis, or what brings it optimal transitions into sped up rates of hormonal activity or chemical distribution, or decreases it. I want to know the variables. I want to know exactly why to a T.
What is homeostasis for listeners who don't know?
Homeostasis just means balance. So when your body's in homeostasis, or homeostasis of the body, it's just everything functioning balanced or holistically. That's why I did holistic nutrition. Also, I studied holistic, but I also don't agree with everything holistically. So
and holistic nutrition? What is holistic nutrition?
Holistic nutrition is looking at the overall body, the planetary system, and everything around the human being as a whole. So you don't skip any part. So, you know, when you asked me about books and stuff like that, and I kind of couldn't answer to you, and I was kind of bored. I didn't want to talk about books. When it comes to books, though, one of my first courses, and one I tell everyone to read if they want to understand what I'm talking about, is from Paul Chek. Even though I separated from Paul Chek, I denounced my certification with him because I don't believe what he's doing and the way he's moving. But a lot of what I learned, the fundamentals of holistic nutrition, is very good. And that's from a book called How to Eat, Move, and Be Happy. Very good book.
And written by Paul Chek.
Paul Chek. And it's the prerequisite to read that book before you do any of his courses anyway. So everyone starts with that book. So even if you're not going to do a course and you don't want to be a pro in nutrition, it's a prerequisite. So it's not going to get you certified. It's not going to blow your brains out with hard biochemistry. But it gives you a good
idea of like a general...
holistically, yeah. Especially if you don't want to be as specialized as I am in nutrition, like carnivore or anything like that, or ancestral nutrition. This is just overall. So yeah, that's holistics. I also studied iridology. I went to the Chinese method. I also studied Ayurvedic. I studied a number of things. But the only thing that kept leading to the truth that could not be denied, had no human bias, had no involvement that could be skewed, or confirmation bias, was biochemistry and physiology. How the human body is and what it doesn't lie.
Right.
We only find out more about what it does the more we observe, and the more our tools and scientific development continues. So this is what I started studying. And from that, it led me to go back to meat. And then I started hunting again. As I said, I was a spear fisherman, I was a hunter. Went back to hunting, went back to eating more meat. Started by eating a lot of fish before I started hunting meat again and eating meat. And I started to feel better. I was like, well, I need to look deeper into this.
Yeah, and it's obviously, the proof is right there. All you need to do is just like change it. And it's, again, that change. And for my experience, do you remember those guys? One is quite popular, and he was huge advocate for veganism. It was Tom Sheaf.
Yeah, Tim Sheaf.
Yeah,
I speak with him regularly. Well, I used to speak with him regularly when he was going through the changes back to it's like 6 years vegan.
Exactly. Yeah. And then another good mate of mine is Chris Lodge, who was amazing free runner, and so both of them, and for me they were like the ones, because I also like saw them on Instagram, and then I see them training all the time, because Tim Sheaf used to come to the gymnastics place where I used to train.
He was such an athlete.
Just incredible athlete. And you know, when you see that proof, when someone is as good athlete as these guys, and they are, you know, promoting the veganism, and that's the way to do it. And you're like, kind of, and I tried it for like 2 years, but I was shitty vegan. I was like, once in a while I ate I was eating some fish, you know, I was like pescatarian. Chicken. And then when that 1 year, this is like 2-3 years ago now, when they both just went straight away back to eating eggs,
because they were dying.
Yeah, and then I was like, what just happened? And Chris was actually he's amazing in building the camper vans. So I bought a camper van, and he did the kitchen for me.
Oh, sick!
Yeah, I got it to his place. So and I remember, we were just meeting up, and I was giving some money for stuff what he already did, or was picking up and I was in this place getting some food, and I said, you know, do you want to come by? What do you want me to order? And he's like, yeah, there's this one dish with like tons of meat, like 5 different types of meat. I was like, Chris, what? And then when he came and we ate, and I was just burning. Tell me why? Tell me. And he literally, that's what he said. It feels like you have no energy. You're like dying, and like the things about, you said like inflammations, they don't go over. And he's like, yo, back to meat. And I was like, ow. And I said to him, I knew it. You have to listen to me.
Yeah. I was on it the whole time. Yeah, I mean, that's been happening loads.
So what was the conversation with you and Tim Schiff? What did he say?
So a lot of people pointed Tim in my direction when he was transitioning back out. And obviously we talked about starting with like fish and certain things and how his body would adapt and blah, blah, blah. And how he would need the changes. And he asked me a little bit about the science of what was happening to his body and blah, blah, blah. So that was pretty much it, really. So I just like pointed him in directions like, yeah, you need to stay for like this amount of time. You need to transition this way. Just like a few little pointers like that. And yeah, just followed his journey. And he just like started reading into some of the stuff that I was doing and stuff. And that was it. And then literally like a few weeks after that, you saw him come out to everyone on Instagram with like, after I ate a piece of salmon, I had a wet dream, and I got a hard on for the first time in a while, and like hormonally he was back.
Was it wet dream? What actually wet dream means?
Yeah,
I was like, is that some kind of?
He came for the first time properly in a long time. Like
Tim Schiff, I'm definitely gonna post this video. We're gonna tag your ass in this.
He spoke about this on his Instagram. This is not something he said to me. Right. This is something that he put up. I think he put it up in a video or he wrote it somewhere. But you can go on his Instagram.
He's hilarious, dude.
And it's amazing. And I love people like Tim are amazing because this is what I find in myself, and I find the most valuable trait in most of the people that are in these fields where they can influence a lot of people. It's the willingness to unlearn and relearn and have no shame of being wrong. Yeah. When you are wrong, admit you are wrong and change the direction and lead by example. And he did that despite he had a lot more eyes on him than I've ever had on Instagram.
He had so many
30,000 followers. And he had a brand and everything revolved, his identity. And this is why most vegans don't want to change or lie or eat meat behind the scenes or have so many issues but keep hiding it and trying to deal with it different ways rather than admitting they need meat. But Tim was full on like, I feel this, that, I feel better. Came straight to people. I don't know who else he asked. He probably spoke to a few people. What is it going to happen? What do I need? Blah, blah, blah. And went with it and announced it. I mean, that's beautiful. Like.
And then he had a vegan journey for how many years?
I can't remember. You might have to ask him directly. I don't know if it was 6 years plus or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, something.
And
like
how come so after only 60 years plus, he was like, okay, enough? Why wasn't it after 3 years? Why wasn't it after 4 years?
So this is something that most people don't understand, but when you eat animal products, the most important place that deposits go when you're growing and when you're young is your bone marrow. Right. You have yellow and red bone marrow. So you want to keep as much red marrow as possible. As you age, it becomes more yellow marrow. But the more animal products you eat, the more red marrow you keep alive and stored. Right. So the amount you last as a vegan depends on your life up to then, whether you're a vegetarian or full meat eater, even if you're eating junk. You're making stores, and then as you go vegan and you stop eating these animal products and making less cholesterol, these stores start to run dry, and that's when you start to get weak, fall into problems. Your brain tissue starts to shrink, your nervous system starts to shrink. And they can actually be in your body until about up to 6 years. Some people 20. I had over. This is what I specialized in. After I got famous for the whole carnivore thing, I started getting like vegans trying to be ex-vegans. That was my client. So I've worked with over 500 ex-vegan clients successfully, and that's what I started getting known for. It's crazy. And yeah, some of these vegans were 15, 20 years, and their bowels were destroyed, the nervous system was shut down, their thyroids weren't even working well, they couldn't even regulate temperature, couldn't regulate metabolism, full mental issues. So basically then vegans are like ticking bombs. yeah, especially as you age, it gets worse. Yeah. Oh shit. But you can see it in their faces before it even starts happening, before the full autoimmune conditions start to kick in. Wow. You can see it in their faces. You can see it in the structure of their eyes. But then it's nothing to do with like different type of bodies can actually be vegans. So it's for not. In your understanding, it doesn't matter what kind of person or what kind of type of body you are. I studied metabolic typing, and this is why I came away from Paul Chek, is because he pushes metabolic typing and biochemical. What the fuck is metabolic typing? It's biochemical individuality. The fact that every human being is the same. One man's food is another man's poison. that's pseudoscience. There's no proven method into that. And I was going deep into those studies as I was doing the courses. I was like, I don't agree with this, and it doesn't work. And I read the books, and I did that, and I tried it, and I experimented. It doesn't work. Metabolic individuality, it's not that big. Even the equatorial types, hemisphere types, all of these things. We are extreme predators, carnivores that are very specific very intelligent machines that have adapted to becoming omnivores to survive. So we can survive off of garbage. You can build muscle eating mud, for example, and you can see that in Africa. These huge bodybuilders in Africa that eat pretty much a bit of rice, mud biscuits, and meat here and there. They look jacked, but doesn't mean they're gonna have longevity and be super healthy. You know? But yeah, there's a honeymoon period. The first time you go vegan, you become health conscious. You cut out smoking, you cut out drinking, you cut out processed meats and crap, and you become more conscious about where you eat and blah, blah, blah. And you have that period where you're like, oh, my body feels clean and good.
Yeah, because you stop fucking smoking, you stop drinking as well.
Shit. Or maybe you started moving more. So these people have the honeymoon period, and then it slowly, little things start to creep in, but they don't realize it's the diet. But an athlete like Tim Sheaf will not last 10, 15 years because there's too much freaking mass and too much energy and to sustain. So he's running through it much quicker than other people, which is why you realize after like 4 years in how skinny.
Well, he's like a racing car. Again, racing car is going to feel that faster than someone who is not racing, who is just getting from,
Yeah. It's like, racing car is going to feel the damage on the engine. You start putting crap petrol in rather than like a little runaround car in town, right? So that's why he couldn't sustain that activity and muscle anymore.
That is crazy.
So it just shrinks away.
Just happened. Whose head just blew up? Any vegans? Any vegans' head just blew up? That is interesting.
Yeah, and I'm not speaking that like, be vegan if you want, do whatever you want.
Fuck, of course, do whatever you want.
But I'm just talking from an experience over the last 7 years. I'm just talking from my biochemistry work and working closely with vegans, and also being very close with a lot of vegans that are open and were cool with me, and then seeing them revert back to me because they tried everything. They tried deep fasting. They tried putting crystals up their bum. They tried meditating for hours. They tried this Vipassana, blah, 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 blah. They tried urinating in their own mouths at angles. They tried sunning their asshole. Sun your balls in your vaginas, but not your asshole. Sunning your balls in your vagina is actually really good for production of hormones. I can talk about that later. But they tried all of it, and it never worked. And then they'd be like, no, it's the mold in my house. Oh, no, it's because the tofu I getting wasn't organic, or this vegetable. No, it doesn't work sustainably. You can do it for a long period. You can push it.
I know the crystals up your ass work.
Yeah.
I know, I tried it.
Especially the blue ones. They're aligned with your belly button chakra.
Do they have like a signs of you, of your picture crossed with a big red cross in Ubud? For those who don't know Ubudians, they pretty much a lot of them are vegans.
Yeah, I leave them alone. Like I don't like to.
What about periods? Do you think it's good to have periods of just being a vegan maybe for a couple of weeks and then going back to being carnivore or back eating everything?
So I think overabundance of anything is not good for the human being. Periods of abundance is good. Periods of not so much is good. Basically, there has never been a vegan society, tribe, civilization in history. None.
Right.
None have tried to survive without meat. The ones that couldn't get much meat because of their geographical circumstances were always less healthier and less robust and shorter people than the ones that... Dr. Weston A. Price, another good book I recommend now off the top of my head. That's why I like it to flow, because then I start remembering which books are good.
Awesome. I'm going to write those down.
Nutrition and Physical Degeneration. Okay, that's by Dr. Weston A. Price, who inspired my travels to tribes. He traveled to all of these parts of the world that weren't visited by Western trade yet.
What tribes did you go?
Arawak, Bedouin, Gaelic, and different ones across Brazil.
Gaelic, is that in Ireland?
Yeah, and Northern Isles.
How did I know that?
Yeah.
Because they speak Gaelic.
Okay,
yeah. And the other ones?
Bedouin is Africa,
yeah.
Mostly East Africa, Egypt, Jordan, Israel, all that side. That's where like fasting, dry fasting, and all this, the experiences were really good. That's where I started studying that. Arawaks, I knew a close family from the Caribbean. Arawaks are like Ghana and across the Caribbean. And like their kids are all bow hunters and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
Right. And how easy was it just come say, hey guys, there's my suitcases. I'm just going to live with you?
No, I had connections, just lucky. Just like even before I was into this kind of nutrition, I was already experiencing this lifestyle. And in Brazil as well, in the bush. And
And I'm pretty sure you learned so many other things, not just food eating from those tribes.
Bush tucker, bush survival.
And when you say tribes, like were they all of them? Well, they live in community, but they're still using like advanced. I mean, like they have house, fucking TV and stuff like that. Or they? What about Gaelic ones?
No, they still to this day. They're like in the Northern Isles.
Yeah.
I'm not sure now, but before, it's very, very basic. There's like one part of the isle that has like a port and like telephone and.
How many people were there? Like how big?
Not many, man.
Oh,
like
okay.
literally, they live off like a little bit of lamb that they have around there. It's like really marshy, weird land. So they can't grow much. They grow like a little bit of oats.
Yeah. No, but how big were the tribes, like people-wise?
No, the Gaelics?
Yeah, like Gaelic, let's say.
No, they don't live in big communities.
Ah.
Like a few families here and there.
Right. Yeah,
you can go see. You can just go up there and explore the isles. Yeah, they live off the sea. They do a lot of fishing. They live off of like shellfish. A lot of shellfish.
Oh, they live off the grid.
A little bit. Yeah, like their houses are made of like this weird like bush and like moss that they pat together and stuff like that. And then they have the little like fire chimney.
Nice.
Yeah, you never seen that. Look it up.
Yeah, I need to look it up. I mean, they don't have
societies.
Do they have pretty big social media? Like, do they have Instagram accounts?
Yeah, you ain't gonna find any of
that.
Dude,
we're running so quick, man. We did another 25 minutes so easy. We're going back straight away to talking about nutrition, all that stuff in the next one. Okay.
Round 3.
Round 3. Fight. Get over here. Scorpion. By the way, actually, did you see the Mortal Kombat came out? You not watch your films, like I can't talk to you about this shit.
New Mortal Kombat?
The new Mortal Kombat, apparently it's really sick.
Actually good, because I remember I did watch the first one, the old one.
Just recently, I watched as well on Netflix.
I can't remember
much. You want to cringe so bad, like so bad.
So the new one's actually going to be good.
Oh, well... Yeah, it's like according to today's martial art, then stunt stuff, and apparently it's really good.
Okay,
and
cheesy.
And then but talking about the old school one, oh my god! Especially when there was this girl in those shorts. What was her character name with with these blonde hair, and you can see like she can't like fight for shit.
The choreography was bad. I watched that so long ago.
It's just ridiculous. But like the stuff what it was doing by like the Scorpion and all those, that was pretty dope. Like some of that stuff was good.
Okay, I'll check that out then. Maybe.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat. Yeah, I fucking grew up with that shit. It was awesome.
I was always Dragon Ball Z.
Was it what, sorry?
I was always watching Dragon Ball Z.
I
liked anime. I watched the anime series.
I never got big on anime. Like never.
Really?
I don't know why.
I just like art.
Oh, okay, because
I used to draw a lot of anime as well. So
right. You draw as well, don't you? Of course you do.
Not anymore. I haven't got time for that.
Your tats. What about your tats? Did you draw any of them, or it's all?
I came up with the design concepts, for all of them, and then found a guy that matched my style. They're pretty old now, though, so you can see the colors kind of gone.
Right.
But yeah.
One of the things what I'm still trying to figure out if I want to have a tattoo.
You haven't got one at all?
No, I haven't. No.
Damn, that's like.
I'm a virgin.
Cool and rare now.
I'm a virgin. Exactly.
Everyone's got tattoos.
Yeah, because part of me thinks that, and it's so easy to get a tattoo, especially here in Bali. You go throw axes at Deus on Tuesdays, and then you buy a tacos, and it comes with a free tattoo. Like, that's just insane.
It's funny,
God. Okay, we're going back talking about diets and some boring stuff. No, it's not boring. It's awesome stuff. As I mentioned before, because of Dom, I started doing intermittent fasting, which actually turned into one meal a day for a while as well. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, I'm still doing 1 meal a day. Nice. So I have one huge meal. What I have is about like 5 o'clock in the evening, and that's it. But in the morning, I do have coffee, and sometimes I sneak in a little bit of chocolate. How bad is that?
Guy like he's using it up, so I don't think so. I mean, if it feels good.
Yeah, because I feel like I need that little bit of like a boost of energy when I go train for like 2-3 hours.
If it feels good and you know that it's not actually that beneficial for you, but you're using it up, and it's all like muscle is the organ of longevity. So the more muscle you have, the more potential, more metabolic flexibility you have, the more potential you have to use up carbohydrates and things like that. I personally don't think you need them. They're not essential because we'll get into that topic later. But if it's a small habit that is not something that's causing you wrong and you're not feeling any negative sides of it, if you're conscious and aware enough, then no.
Yeah, because it's like when I have a coffee, it just feels like you want a little bit and you like that little boost. But I think when sometimes I know that I don't have any chocolate at home and I just have coffee, and when I'm on already training, I don't really feel a big difference.
Well,
it's like
coffee's terrible for you, but we drink it anyway.
Yeah,
like,
I know. I
like
remember
one coffee a day or here and there. If you're not fully stressed out and you're in good health, it's not gonna harm you. It's not gonna give you a cancer. It's not gonna damage you. But if you are stressed out, you have bad sleeping patterns, you're not living holistically, then coffee can do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I remember you told me that I should have maybe one coffee a day, one in 2 days and stuff like that.
Nice,
so
yeah.
And then the other thing is like what I do always, because here, especially in Bali, it's so fucking hot. And when you train, you just sweat so much, especially doing BJJ or Muay Thai.
Coconut water.
As I go out, coconut water, I drink that. But my biggest thing, every day I buy a massive watermelon.
A watermelon?
And I just destroy it. How bad is that for me? Is it? No, seriously. Like I'm actually.
No, it's just mostly glucose water.
And is glucose water bad?
No, I wouldn't say it's bad.
It's alright.
Yeah, if you're using it like that, especially after training, it's helping you rehydrate. It's it's filling your liver glycogen back. It's filling your muscle glycogen back. It's giving you a little boost. It's probably gonna make you more hungry though.
I literally just wanted to have a blessing from Dom. Is it okay to have
That's why you brought me here, just to ask me.
Just ask him about the watermelon.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad. I think actually if you make it into juice, it's even better because then you cut out the fiber.
Right.
Yeah.
But how much is there fiber? I mean, there's a little bit.
You're eating a whole watermelon though?
Yeah.
Holy shit, how big is it?
Well, like, big.
I don't think it's that bad at all.
No, because I eat half and then another half I eat around in the evening. Not straight away the whole thing.
Okay,
no. So I think the whole thing, my belly would
so
blow
bloated.
up. Yeah. Okay, cool. I have a blessing, so I can do that one. But yeah, let's talk about a little bit intermittent fasting and the way I look at it, and I think maybe you were like telling me the reason for it, but in a simple way to look at it is just like give your body enough time to clean it out, kind of thing.
Process.
To process before you bring more fuel.
Yeah, we're not grazers.
We're not, sorry?
We're not grazers.
Which is cows who eat all the time?
We're enzymatic digesters. So we're not fermented digesters. So this is like the same thing. I'm sorry to bring up the word vegan all the time or plant-based. I'm not trying to take the piss. And I don't use you guys as they versus us or us versus them. It's like good people is good people. I don't care what you do.
And also, whatever you want to eat, eat.
Food is not an identity. This is what I can't stand out. Food is not an identity. You don't identify yourself by the food you eat. Nor does an animal identify itself by the food it eats. So, but what I want to make an example is that people go, well, why is the cow so big and strong and the ape so big and strong? Well, they're actually on high-fat diets. But people are like, what? A cow's not eating any fat or any meat. Yeah, well, it has a 4-compartment stomach or a spiral gut. So it's got a ruminant or a hind gut. And that's what we don't have. We only got a 2% capacity to ferment fiber.
What about gorillas, though? Gorillas don't have stomachs like cows.
They have a hind gut. So
really?
Hind gut is a spiral gut with a large cecum. That's got trillions of fermentative bacteria. So like gorillas, because they have that hind gut, they don't have to drink water. They can extract water from the leaves. But cows, they're ruminants, which is a 4-compartment stomach, ruminates with bacteria to ferment starch, cellulose, into saturated fatty chains, and that's why they're big and muscular, because they have high cholesterol. They have.
Because one of the arguments with a lot of vegans say like, "Oh, look at the gorillas. We are like just like them." Fuck, you're not like them.
We're nowhere near like them. Yeah.
Good one. Yeah. Also, talking about cows, I have a fucking funny story for you. So when I was a kid, we used to have cows. Not many, like 2-3 cows, like very small, kind of a little house farm. And we would take them to the field. And there's this one type of grass. If cow eats it, it gets really bloated to the point where it actually can die.
Oh, really?
And literally, stomach physically like enlarges, like huge.
Wow.
And there are 2 ways to do this to get her back to normal. One way, literally run around with this cow like around the field, so she runs and she just shits it out, and she just moves her out and shits it out. And the other one is like, which is trickier, and then you need a special equipment. It's like a actual needle which you stick through a cow's stomach at some point, I don't know where, and then just gets the air out.
Whoa.
Yeah. And so my dad, he didn't know or didn't have the equipment. He said like, we have only one option: start running. And I'm not kidding you. I was fucking running around.
You grew up big and strong.
Oh my, yeah, exactly. Oh
like
my God.
Khabib was wrestling bears, you were running with cows.
Yeah, I was running with cows. And then I remember, and my dad, because he was alcoholic, and very often he would be drunk and like teaching me how to live my life. Oh, it was hilarious. My dad, half drunk, running around the field as well.
Like a cool guy.
And he's like, "Son, come here, do that." And cow stops and lies down, because it's tired. Yeah.
And still the gas hadn't come out.
Yeah, and Dad was like getting it up. Dad, come on, let's go. It's ridiculous. That should be filmed.
I never knew about it. That's really interesting.
Yeah, and here you go. You talking about you being all cool and doing surfing and shit. I can tell you about my childhood running with a shitting cow around the field.
Damn. I was running around cows but picking mushrooms.
Oh, shit.
But yes.
What kind of mushrooms?
Magic, of course.
Oh, magic, of course.
I'm gonna eat it. It's gonna be magic.
In Latvia we had like 5 or 6 different types of mushrooms. None of them were magic.
Oh really?
But we made amazing. Oh, you as a food guy, you would love some of our mushrooms. Yeah.
Forage mushrooms.
We have this yellow. I don't know what's the name of in English. It's like yellow, quite small mushroom, and you do amazing gravy with it.
Is it like flat looking?
No, it's like all like wrinkly.
Oh, okay.
Later we'll send you some photos. So those and if you do a gravy and then put on potatoes, oh my God, you want to die for it. Or you can use the same gravy for meat. It's just insane. And then there's because all of these mushrooms have like the level of taste, and there's this one specific mushroom which is super high level, and it's very difficult to find it, but also you can make the best gravy, the best soup out of it. And it's like 6 or 7 mushroom types. So when I was a kid, we always would go and it felt like hunting.
Yeah, because that good at like foraging field knowledge.
Because the thing was, we would wake up as early as we could, but some people would come like even in the dark and like with a little light to look for them, because whoever is first, finds them and takes them away.
Yeah.
So then afterwards, it's so difficult to find them. You just like under like some trees and whatever. It's like, and then my dad was fucking annoying. He would always go because we go in different ways, but we can hear each other, and he would say like, "Oh." And did you find already? And he's like, no, he didn't. But he was like, because it was competition always, like who's gonna find more mushrooms.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, you would love that. You would honestly love that. And like when you say like going to different tribes and different places, I definitely would suggest you go to some Northern Europe, Eastern Europe, like because they would have some cool stuff.
Definitely, I want to do Siberian, and also I've been to Australia twice, but I never spent time with Aboriginal.
What Siberia is like Latvian steroids. Like anything what is in Siberia is like 5 times bigger, and mosquitoes included.
I would go in the heart of winter to see how they deal with the
cold,
the caribou. That kind of, I would go hunting for the caribou, and I want to eat the organ soup they make with the intestines. That's what I really want to try, and how they use the deer antlers, the caribou antlers.
Right.
That's one of the last tribes I really want to visit.
You see, that's the other thing. Like my dad was hunter, so he would his
elk and stuff.
One of his biggest trophy was moose.
There's moose across
Latvia? We have moose in
Latvia. No way.
Yeah, we have moose. Moose is one of the most we have, and we have so many.
I did not know you had moose in Latvia.
Yeah, we have
just like elk was the biggest.
No, we do have elk, but like a tiny elk, like little fuckers.
So you have the big horse there.
Yeah, we have a big horse. We have so many car accidents because of the big horse, because they're stupid as fuck.
Oh yeah, you hit a moose and you're done.
They go on the road. If you ride a Ferrari, you're fine because you just chop the legs off and it flies over. But if you ride like a normal car, you're fucked. And they're stupid.
Shit, that's news to me. I didn't know you had
there you go. Oh, you're gonna learn some shit from me as well.
There you go.
And that means that means the moose, the Lithuania and Estonia, they have the same stuff.
What's the gun laws like there though?
It's the season. So whenever the season is open for and you have to be a part of community of hunters. If you shoot stuff off season, you can get in trouble, arrested, all that shit.
It's well regulated.
It's quite well regulated. And one of the greatest things is there's the hunters community. So my dad was there mainly for being like fucking getting drunk and shit. Because they usually hunt and then they celebrate and all that stuff. We have tons of foxes. Like there was a big infestation with foxes.
And rabbits.
Rabbits, a little bit.
Most of the UK, there's too much. People stopped eating rabbit.
Yeah. I don't know.
And now it's destroying the land.
Yeah. They're nasty.
I needed to go on like different. I used to go to friends' land, I own farm, and there'd be rabbits there and stuff as well. Oh,
and you would help to get rid of them.
Like a lot of the guys there, like in England, it's really hard to own a gun.
You would kill the cute bunnies.
Only the ugly ones with the buck teeth.
The ugly ones.
I'm selective.
Face check. Oh, you fucking ugly. Die.
The ones that won't make the supermarket sell.
Oh shit. But yeah, hunting time. I remember, and my dad would never allow me to go hunting with him because he was afraid that I would hurt myself or whatever. And and then one time he took me to geese hunting, and I didn't even know how to fucking use the gun. And he's just like, sit there and wait for it. and I'm like,
and drink this beer.
Yeah, and I see they fly through. I'm like, he's like, oh yeah, you just missed it. Oh, okay. Then we used to hunt beavers.
Yeah, beavers there as well.
Justin Bieber, was there.
Wow.
Beavers.
Beaver fever.
Yeah, we had a lot of them. There was a lot of dams, and my dad would go set up
I
traps.
need to visit Latvia.
Dude, yeah, hunting is cool. And story about hunting was funny. So we all have this hunters community, and for New Year's, because at the time we couldn't afford, or there was not that easy to get the fireworks, right? Mm-hmm. So all the hunters would go out on their porch and just shoot their fucking guns, right? And this one year, and we had 2 stories in the house. So me and my sis would get on up on the second story and we'd watch how dad is shooting. So as we see him waiting, and it's like my dad comes out and he's loading it, and then boom, this massive noise. I know how it sounds. It shouldn't be that loud. I was like, what the fuck? I go downstairs and my dad is all pale, holding this rifle open like a flower.
Oh,
so one of he had the old Patron or whatever, that bullet thing. It just stuck, and then it just blew the fucking thing.
Holy crap, that's gnarly, man.
But I just love that.
Total this shotgun.
I literally just opened the door and my dad was like, it's like from a Looney Tunes. I saw the rabbit.
Damn, bro, that's crazy. Yeah, man, I love hunting always, but
What about so you doing spear hunting, which is fucking crazy?
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I say it's crazy is because you have to hold your breath. If you do with the scuba diving, apparently then you're a pussy, or it's a dick move to even do that.
Depends.
Really?
Yeah, I used to do some gnarly scuba diving with friends in Barbados. We used to do it pretty technical, where we'd carry 2 to 3 tanks and go really deep for a long time, with long decompression times.
Would you try to find Nemo?
Trying to find Nemo's cousins. So big.
I a couple of days ago when we were scuba diving, this guy jumps out of the behind the instructor jumps out of this reef, whatever, and he does this to me. I was like, "Fuck you," because this in our culture, in our culture means you dumbass or something. La 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 la, and then that's a clownfish. Yeah. Sorry.
It's all good. Yeah, I mean for deep diving. So when you're going to 60, 70 meters or more for a long time, and you're shooting big fish that live really deep. Yeah. Then that's the time.
And what kind of fish you would go for in so deep?
Groupers, snappers, things like that.
All
that's
right.
mostly it. Yeah, sometimes barracudas that were pretty deep as well.
Would you do any of that diving around here, or here just?
No, here I just free dive. Yeah, here's 20 to 30 meters.
How long can hold your breath?
My record, just face down in the pool, was 6 minutes and 36 seconds.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Moving around at depth hunting, it was just over 3 minutes, so about half.
That is a lot. My record has been 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I've been doing Wim Hof's
Wim Hof for breath hold is terrible.
Really?
Yeah, don't do Wim Hof.
Oh shit!
You'll kill yourself.
Okay, you need to teach me some shit.
Don't do the Wim Hof.
Quickly, what is a good way to start learning how to hold your breath?
CO2 tables.
Oh, okay.
So practice CO2 tolerance. You just normal breathing, and then you build up your tolerance to carbon dioxide, and then you can go past and get later contractions, but still being controlled if enough oxygen to not pass out.
And is it a good idea to kind of do this research yourself before you do the course? Because you can do the course.
Freediving courses will teach you everything. I was just lucky that one of the guys, my brothers, taught me how to dive. I knew how to dive instinctively as well, for me in the ocean, being a water baby. The guys I was spearfishing with already had quite a bit of experience before I started it. And then later on, one of my good friends that I used to dive with a lot, was a really good spearo. He was a freedive instructor and was a competitive freediver and record holder in the Caribbean. So I learned a lot from him.
What was the record?
I can't remember. It was some crazy depth.
But it's when they say it's about the depth and it's about how long you held the breath, or it's just about the depth.
It's just about the depth. Oh. Disciplines, yeah.
Right.
You got a few different disciplines. You got constant weight. You got, I forgot the name of the other ones. There's one where you just drop down on a machine and then you have to come back up. And then there is ones where you with fins, and there's one with no fins.
Right.
You pull yourself down the line. Or
and it's a dolphin fin as well.
And then there's the monofin one as well.
Yeah. Now, that's one of the things, like, you know, I work as a stunt performer. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm,
yeah. So the things what I've been learning, and like, you know, horse riding, doing like stunt horse riding, which is quite crazy, skydiving, whatever. But like holding breath underwater, it's always been kind of thing for me mentally. It's very difficult to kind of relax. And as soon as, if I hold breath, but just, you know, it's fine. But as soon as you dive, no. We had 2 years ago when I went to Thailand, we did high jumping in the water from like 15 meters of the, it was a free climbing, whatever. And I was wearing GoPro on my head. And as I was diving in, it just fell off. And it was like about 6 meters depth. And I was like, I kind of went, I was like, there's no way I can go there. I think it was 6 meters, I'm not sure. And then one of the guys, German guy, he's like, oh, I do free diving, so I can try to do it. Or he's done the course, and he got it. And I was like, that's awesome. Because we were ready to get some scuba divers around to get there.
And there's a good guy here if you want to learn from as well.
Yeah.
Called Liquid Life.
Okay. Yeah, I was looking into it. It's just like, the circumstances for me at the moment doesn't allow, like financially and stuff like that. But and I think also when I return back next time.
Yeah, he does group trainings in the pool. I think it's like 150K.
That's it?
Yeah.
Are you serious? Okay, I wanted to get the name.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, we have already third segment, and the time's like fucking flying. This is the first time, man. I actually, I think some of the podcast was like, oh, we're done. It's just like, but we can talk forever. We spoke about hunting, and we spoke about intermittent fasting. So
yeah, that's where I was finish that point about the cows, since we got a few minutes.
Yeah, go. Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Because, yeah, they have to graze all day to get that nutrients and to sustain themselves. As we only have to eat once or twice to be able to sustain that nutrients. But we have a highly acidic stomach that breaks down food straight away, and we're getting directly assimilable nutrients, fat-soluble nutrients from the flesh. And so we don't have to eat that much. And we have a longer small intestine, and so longer small intestine and a shorter large intestine and a smaller duodenum. So we don't have to eat as much, and we can process more nutrient density, providing we eat the flesh. Right.
Well, straight away, like when I'm talking about intermittent fasting and then 1 meal a day, what is the difference, and what do you think? Is it more advantage or more beneficial if you eat just 1 meal a day, or you do what they call the 8 hours fasting?
16-8.
16-8, where you...
that's the Egyptian scale.
Right, whether you don't eat breakfast and then or don't eat dinner.
You just eat breakfast later. Breakfast, breaking the fast. So breakfast, it's just later. So my lunch is breakfast is lunch.
Right.
But it depends on you, like especially for women, it depends hormonally how you are. If you're very active, if you're very hormonally damaged, if you're very stressed out, fasting is a stressor. That's why it does what it does.
It is stressor.
So you have to be mindful of that.
But it's something like when you can get used to it as well. I think in the beginning when I started it was hard, but then now I feel much better.
But also if you've got good stress control, you're resilient, you're active, and then you're eating well, and you sleep well, and your relationship's good,
all the factors.
And you're not working on the blue light and all that, then it's fine. You have very low stress, so you can deal with the stress from fasting as a beneficial. But if you have all these other issues, the fasting stress may not be beneficial. So that's,
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, there's so many different factors. What about the concept, and use someone who's done bodybuilding in the past, and you remember it was all about 6 meals, 7 meals a day, eat bollocks. Small portions every 30 minutes.
Every time you eat is an aging process.
Really? What is that?
So every time you eat, you trigger an inflammation, which is necessary. But if you're doing that consistently and you're processing, you're triggering aging. Every time you eat, it's an aging process.
Oh, that's why all the bodybuilders look so old.
A lot of them, they look very old.
Right. And you remember back in the days or whatever, even now, I'm not sure if people are more educated, like bodybuilders are still doing that 6 meals a day. Preps.
Yeah. But this guy's like, BioLane. He's like really famous on Instagram as well. He does like the carbon approach diet, and he's all into macros and saying that carbs are bad for you and blah, blah, blah. And he's always calling out the carnivore people and the ancestral people and blah, blah, blah. And there's these guys like that still believe and still do this, and only reading confirmation bias the only things that are legit are peer-reviewed studies. So they come straight out of a qualification thinking they know it all and only trust what comes out of the qualification, even though the qualification has massive corporate involvement and biases. And he's telling you that we're not into health and that we're not blah, blah, blah. And meanwhile, he's in a podcast drinking a Monster energy drink and eating a load of crap.
Which just advertising some crap.
And you can see in his body he's not healthy all the time. He's doesn't always stay lean. But yeah, he goes, but I can deadlift triple my body weight. What can you do? And it's just like one of those guys. And there's a lot of that in the industry. And that's what I've kind of given up on that stuff as well. So I can't argue with these people. Because they're arrogant.
In the end of the day, again, it's just, you make that decision who you follow. And like, if you like what you, for example, do, what you represent, and then I will follow you, and then I will do those things. If I want to be like that, meathead.
But the thing is, like, I try and then, even though I'm following my own thing for my own truths, I try and prove them wrong. So he's into like, you need to eat like this, blah, 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 for your powerlifting. I went on 1 meal a day for 3 months. I ate 1.5 kilos of meat a day. That's it. Just 1 meal a day. Slept well, lived holistically, followed my principles, just eating meat. And in 3 months, I went from 180 kilo deadlift to a 250 kilo deadlift at 80 kilo body weight, 5% body fat shredded.
And proves that straight away.
Proves it straight away that I didn't need to do all that crap you're talking about. And I don't see food as just some kind of like dopamine rush enjoyment factor. Food has got actually a longevity purpose.
And actually one of the biggest things what happened after I started doing intermittent fasting and fasting in general, I got bigger.
And you felt stronger.
And I get big, and that's ridiculous. Like my body type is, I don't need to do much to maintain muscles, For the last 3 years, all I was doing like for stunts, it's always about you have to be smaller because when you put pads on, you look like a fucking Hulk already. And like some guys say, you could double Tom Cruise. Yeah, by height, not by size. Like he's way smaller, and especially for stunt performers, it's perfect when you're skinnier because then put your pads on, put the costume on, then you can do all the falls. And since I started doing that, it's just like no, I'm not. That doesn't look like I'm gonna lose muscles. I go to the gym,
like, and I haven't been training at all.
And all I've been doing, all the cardio, like boxing, like swimming, all of that stuff. It's like people say, "Look, how often do you go to the gym?" I was like, conventional gym, like normal gym, I've never been in my life. I fucking hate that shit.
Not lifting anyway.
Yeah, but obviously when you met me, I did a lot of body weight exercise.
Yeah, I was calisthenics and you were more tricking, and then that's why I looked at you and was like, you do tricking, I want to get more into tricking.
I remember,
And you were teaching me kick the moon. And
Can you still do the cork? You never learned the cork?
Oh, the cork, I got the cork once, but I never practiced. And I got standing back full as well.
Nice.
But now I probably can't.
And
I can still do big stalls and kick the moon. I can still do those. Those are easy for me now.
Yeah, your stalls are like just, they're legendary.
Good, man.
You look at
fucking long time.
You're staring at your crotch for half an hour and then you land.
Here's my balls.
Here's the balls. With you, if we talk about nutrition, we can talk till tomorrow. And I think this is just a good place kind of to show what are the things you mainly stand for and what you've been doing. And one of the coolest things, as I mentioned before, is just like so many things you've been doing and changing. And so you said that recently you again changed something with Origin of Nutrition. What did you add or did you change? What happened?
So I've become more selfish with my time, mostly because a lot of people don't want to listen. There's always a lot of battle. And those that do want to listen, unfortunately, most of them can't financially afford to get my time now.
Right.
So what I did with Origins Nutrition is I put all of the years of experience into one manual in a very simple dummies guide.
Oh, okay.
So that people can just follow all of the written stuff bit by bit and adapt into what I stand for over 6 weeks and use it for their life for years. They don't have to do it in 6 weeks. They can do it for 8, 12 months. The template has been made in 6 weeks. And it's got like videos and stuff like that for them to follow of me talking. And it's just like the basic biochemistry, the reasoning why, what happens if this happens. And it's just the time that I would spend coaching them to babysit them, they now can learn how to change and what's wrong and how to do it themselves.
Oh.
So that's enabled me to leave Origins. And now my Origins account is just mostly about lifestyle and me just reinforcing that this lifestyle works and other people and inspiring people to get out and live, especially during these corona times and these scandemics, is to make your life happen still. Don't look for the authority of daddy government spoon feed you. health and holistic living is sovereignty over your own body. So take that sovereignty back. Take accountability.
Hallelujah, brother. That sounds awesome.
Take accountability for the mistakes you made about your health and your sicknesses and stuff. Once you take control of that, you're then able to confidently and passionately take control of other areas of your life. And if you want to move to Bali, if you want to move somewhere, you'll learn how to bend the rules. You'll learn how to have control, and you have confidence in yourself. One thing I notice of everybody that I work with nutrition is that once they change the nutrition and their nervous system starts to fire properly, you know, either their balls start to fucking get strong again, or the women's uterus, and they're feeling feminine, they're feeling masculine, they're feeling strong. They take themselves more seriously where they need to be, and they're more confident to go after what they want. And that's, trying to get people to understand, work on the foundations of your carbon body, then your mind starts to work better.
That is one of the,
to make better decisions.
That is one of the things what people I think misunderstand, that food is not only about me being ripped and having beautiful muscles. If you eat right, then your fucking brain works properly as well. That's the biggest muscle you have.
There you go.
And the most important muscle you have.
Exactly. So if your brain's firing well, and your glands...
Except your penis, obviously. The penis is the most important.
But then a man's penis also dictates his health.
Oh, we didn't talk about the croûte.
Trot.
Fuck.
Trot.
Trot. That's in what language is that?
Indonesian.
Indonesian.
It's slang Indonesian.
Bahasa.
Yeah, I've been studying Indonesian because I have businesses here now, and a lot of my friends are Indonesian, so I've been studying. But trot was one of the first words I learned before I could even properly speak with them. It's funny, we'd say trot for everything. So trot means orgasm. So whenever something is good, you go trot.
Trot.
So my bike gang that I'm in, like, we say this a lot. Yeah.
That's funny.
So, but yeah, that's why I put the penis here as well, because for a man, the penis also dictates the health of the man. If your penis is standing strong every morning, your balls are full, and you're not always emptying them, and you're living consciously with your penis and using it as a tool for energy, you're going to make good decisions, you're going to be strong. And what I've noticed over the last year is that they're trying to destroy masculinity. And masculinity is painted as something that oppresses women. That's not masculinity, that's just overall oppression, whether it's religious or certain, I guess, morals in other countries. And it's quite sad, but actual masculinity, the strong masculine that is able to get shit done and protect and lead, it's being destroyed. And that's why we're seeing the state of the world right now. There's no one to stand and fight for what's wrong. Everyone just follows orders and just has their fucking dick between their legs, you know, like all the way tucked up under their crack.
I like how it just got so specific. Where exactly? How exactly is it tucked away?
Like the top of the head is literally
up their asses,
just sitting on the edge, like where it starts to get purpley. You know, and then the strong women are also being misled into different positions that don't suit their biological ways and the way that their hormones and creativity work. So we've got men starting to be women and women trying to be men, and there's none of that great freedom of sexual balance between the two anymore. And this is, you know, I've been in a relationship now almost 6 years with my current girlfriend, and we have this just amazing synergistic balance now between masculine and feminine. She can bring out the feminine in me at the right time and nurture me. Like I've just come back from battle, and I feel, whoa, I'm loved, I'm cared for, you know? And I have this like masculine that can bring out a little bit of masculine in her. It's like, you're independent, like you're strong, you can defend yourself. I'm here as you need for backup, but you go and get your shit done.
Yeah,
you know, like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
You can be all creative and fluttery here and there, but I'm going to come in and go, boom, follow a direction. And then when I'm too serious and blah, 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 you're going to remind me that the world's actually a cool place and there's loads of stuff to do.
Yeah. And I hear that more and more. That is kind of thing what we say, that masculinity is kind of lost and how we get back to it.
Yeah, or it's just toxic.
Yeah,
it's like masculinity is toxic.
Yeah,
it's like, no, it's feminism toxic. All can be toxic.
Anything can
way,
be toxic.
But the real aspects of it, how we have, what we see in tribal societies. If you look at tribal societies free of like religion and blah blah blah, you see the unison between the male and female and how they work to support each other, and you see how free the kids are between that as well. Beautiful.
Yeah, Joe Rogan was talking about this a lot, like how tribalism, and then there was this story. So there's a book called Tribe, which is pretty cool, and they talk about this a lot. How there's a story about this American woman who was kidnapped from the from what is the time of the colonies they had in States, and taken to the tribe, and then they found her and they wanted her back, and she was like, "Fuck it, I'm not coming back because that's the life where I want to live." And
the Indians.
It's just the value system is so different. It's like also the sexuality about like having partners and all that. And I think in our case, it's just messed up so much by religion and stuff. It's like
but also corporate greed and influence, you know, and making a divide between the two. No unison, divide and conquer. It's also that.
Just need to check that camera quickly.
Sure, go for it. I'll just keep babbling on. But yeah, I find nutrition brings this back into balance and place. So yeah, so with Origins Nutrition, I decided to put something in still that could give people the opportunity to learn that for themselves. I was tired of babysitting people. Main thing I always wanted to learn, which is something that was instilled for me from my mother the hard way. Like, my mom was she sounded really fun, but I didn't tell you about the side way. She was really strict and really harsh on me, like with critical thinking. If I wasn't critical thinking, I'd get taught off. If I wasn't being proper, I was taught off all the time, like harshly, like a slap and blah, blah, blah.
And Audi is back. So we had a little technical issue there.
Okay.
You were talking about your mother and how you wanted to beat your mom.
Well, my mother, your mom. Before that blip, I was talking about critical thinking. So I was saying how I want to instill critical thinking in the program. I want people to learn to critically think for themselves and to not just take in information, access the information, think about it, see how it works, look into it deeper. Don't just blindly follow everything.
Exactly.
Just because I've got 30,000 followers, just because I've done this and that, I've worked with professional athletes, I've worked with famous people, doesn't mean shit. Critically think about what you're taking in.
I think where it gets killed is a school.
Exactly.
Fundamental, old school type. You just hear and listen what I'm telling you.
Just regurgitate everything.
Yeah, don't talk about.
Universities are just one big corporation.
University is the worst. I even have a story when I was in university. I remember this professor comes and she just puts like this thing on a wall for us to write it down.
And that's it.
I was like, are you serious? We're paying money. We're here. You were doing your own thing. She literally could just doodle whatever.
Yeah.
And I was the only one who got up and said like, this is not right. You can email us this information. Why are we sitting and writing here?
Yeah.
And she was shocked because no one stands up, no one says that ever, because everyone just follow. And I realized that very quickly that universities,
minds, that's why you're here.
Exactly, universities just like
they come out dumber sometimes.
Exactly,
because they stop learning on the field.
Yeah, because they kill your creative thinking as well. And then,
yeah, man, that's a really. Yeah, that's what I noticed as well, and that's why I dropped out as well from what I was doing. I was like, this is not good.
Because it was interesting when you said like you always had a like issue with authority, and even though I didn't, or even I wasn't strong enough to maybe go and say like, because I was so much entangled. Well, I need the job, I need the money, I need all of that. So if I got talked back, I don't have a be
escape plan.
Option and just go do something else. So it's kind of falling. But at the same time, so many times, and one of the biggest corporations I worked for, Kraft Foods, which is making the worst food in the world, and in Latvia, and I was responsible for 3 countries doing trade marketing, and my boss was total dick, and I was like just an asshole, and I was like, I'm making all this money, I'm making all this, and the car and everything, but I hate this shit. And then I was like, is it worth it to actually just kill your kind of any rules of being just for this money, for just paycheck?
No way. And that's most people are caught in that rat race, right? But I'd rather make less and have freedom and health are the greatest wealth, and that's it.
Hey, freedom.
Money is
that is your blueprint right there, because now we should talk about what is Dom's blueprint. And say that again. Freedom and
health are the greatest wealth.
There you go. Boom. So that could be one of the ones. Do you have like some 2-3 points which you would like to share for people to keep in mind, and also according to your kind of a blueprint of your life, just a couple like words of wisdom? So that was a good point. What else? I mean, you've been throwing freaking awesome wisdom all this time, and I think that before we got that blip, you already mentioned some really cool stuff, which is like kind of blueprinty.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely lead into that, into answering those questions from what I was saying. I guess, where did we leave off? I left off from, my mum, and how, we parted ways several times. There was a lot of friction.
Really?
She was very strict on me, wanted me to be proper and my critical thinking and everything like that. So, we had our battles. She had to separate. She had to learn to leave me to become a man and not try and control me and let me to be free.
Oh, so even though she allowed you to do all those cold things, she still kind of tried to have a control.
Yeah, for sure.
Really?
She still wanted to make sure my upbringing, everything was like full on, and she was doing all these things to bring me up, But she was a very strict mother, so after when I got old enough and I had my ways, obviously, and I had my own critical thinking, and I could see like illogical fallacies and things that she was doing, I was like, okay, I'm going to, and we separated. We didn't talk for almost a year at one point as well. And yeah, I was taking sovereignty over my decisions, my body, and where I wanted to go. And just how you were saying about the job, I can never like let people talk to me in a certain way, because I understood that money comes when you need, as long as you stay focused and you keep pushing for what you want. Don't look at what you don't want, always look at what you want and need, and you will, not that the universe, I don't believe that the universe brings it to you. No, you get focused and you align in creating what needs to be done for the universe to have it there. And that's like the blueprint there, I guess.
Yeah.
Is laser in on everything that you want and the blueprints to get there, and you will make it happen. If you focus on what you don't want and you complain and you think, oh, but if I don't do this, then it's going to be this and then... No, fuck off. You're like, if I don't do this, I'm going to be happier because I don't like this. But in order to then keep that happiness, I need to do this. So therefore, I'm going that way. And that's my blueprint. Follow the logical possibilities you need to do to keep whatever it is that's keeping you happy. So right now, it's like what I'm doing now. I can't be bothered to deal with everyone's problems. Everyone doesn't want to pay up for me to deal with their problems, so I'll do something that I can meet them in the middle. You deal with your own problems by learning how from somebody that knows how to deal with your problems, and you pay a minimal amount just to have it like that. And now I have the time and freedom to do what I like. And what I like to do is say, fuck you, I'm going motorcycle riding, I'm going surfing, I'm playing with my dog, and I'm chilling with my girlfriend. That's it. Like, obviously, and I'm trying to get people to understand, and I have no shame about it. It's like, you have to pay for this service. You have to pay for this lifestyle. Your money is going into making this lifestyle. And what this lifestyle is doing is not just selfish. It's helping me learn and explore more, which I'm then going to share back with you. So it just goes full circle. And people go, yeah, but why am I paying you $1,000 for this stuff? It's like, you're not paying $1,000 for this stuff. You're paying $1,000 for 7 years of experience you're not having to go through all the mistakes and everything. You're paying for the 7 years of how many thousands I've put into learning, how many thousands I've put into being in order for this information. And you're getting it.
Yeah, so that kind of comment is just stupid, like in general, like just like in stunt industry, people train for like years and years and years to get to the level, and they deserve that money. Or the same with actors, like actors gets a certain level. It's like, what would we pay them? Oh, well, that argument is just crap. And you going to the tribes and you finding all that information and spending so much time and energy.
And doing something that works.
Yeah, exactly. And someone probably would say, but you enjoy it. Like, yeah, but you can choose to do things in your life, but you enjoy it instead of like crying about that shit.
Exactly. So another blueprint in that sense is, build the profession that is fueling you to enjoy other things. You know, I enjoyed studying this, and now I don't so much because it's not me anymore. But now everything I've learned from here and the money I've gained from here is now fueling another project. Now I own Hunters. Have you heard of Hunters? But yeah. No.
What is the other project? Tell us.
So this is my main company here in Bali now.
Never heard of it.
We get all of the top premium grass-fed and organic products.
Oh, okay. I've seen about the meat. Dave was hanging out with you one day. He's the kickboxer guy. Yeah. We trained sometimes together. He's a cool dude.
Right.
So, because he comes to Bali in May.
So now I'm using all my knowledge about ecology, ruminants, physiology to now make a meat supply company. And that's where I'm spending all my money. So all the investment coming from there is now helping pass on the knowledge in different ways.
So meat supply company. So where are you getting your meat then?
So we get it from a mix of places. So there's Bali, Sumatra, Japan, New Zealand, and Australia. And we all use the same systems. So all grass raised. We like grain finished. It's another thing I forgot to mention. Grain is grass family. Cows are naturally eating this anyway. And we like it 120-day finish for fattier marble, and also to get fat-soluble nutrients in there. So yeah, all free of chemicals, all wildly raised, and then either processed in Indonesia or outside. And then we managed to find, during the Corona times, all the restaurants and hotels started to shut down. And these suppliers only deal with like top-level restaurants and like big resorts. Yeah,
because they can afford it, because it's quite expensive, I presume.
Yeah, because they're buying it in the bulk. So we managed to find a way of, because we had the company and the company registration, we could get all of their details and bring in and organize all of the meats and ask for specifics of how it's cut, how it's packaged, and make it available to people in Bali and ship it directly to their door.
Dude, when I'm back, I'm gonna find a villa where I have a nice kitchen, and I'm gonna do this. Cause like, and this is the thing, like back in London, cause I have a nice kitchen, I'm happy to, cook some steak and all that.
Yeah.
And, but here also problem in Bali, it's quite cheap to eat out.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna get a good meat. You're not gonna get.
On the high street, you can't buy these meats. That's the thing that has helped us with the business model. But also what we like is if you go to like Sijin, Boy and Cow, or any other restaurant, you're paying anywhere from like 400 to 600K for one steak, as we can get you a kilogram of that for that price. And that's what we're doing.
400K, that's in, what's that in dollars or euros?
400 to 500K is about 25 pounds, so like maybe 30 euros, 30 something dollars. Yeah. Dude,
congrats. Like, how long you been doing that?
Just over 6 months now. We're just now finalizing things. I'm actually never been that good at business. I've got 2 good partners here, and awesome. I'm learning now the business side. This is my new investment in myself, learning to be a businessman. Like,
because for you, main thing is like to assure and make sure that meat is good, it's good quality.
I'm definitely eating away at quality control. Yeah,
that is your area. Yeah.
So yeah, that's what we're trying to bring, all of these high quality meats that suit our ethos and our idea of regenerative agriculture, and we're doing, and making it available to people. And also, rather than having to go looking for it at different places, we have all of the different kinds of meat: shellfish, seafood, pork. We're now working with a Bali heritage pork breeder.
Nice.
And lets them naturally roam, and the meat's incredible, like beautiful, like the freest, wildest pigs you're gonna get, and makes the most amazing meats and sausages with it. And we got it all in one place. So I gotta give you something to try before you leave.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Can't wait. That's what I'm focused on now.
Yeah,
that's what brings me happiness now, and allows me to keep my activities up.
And that's the blueprint. That's what you need to do. That every time you see something, what do you want to do? How long I've been talking about that I want to do podcast in ages, like living in London and stuff. And that's the other thing, like universe is going to bring it. No, fuck. Get your shit together, get equipment, start talking, start doing.
Exactly.
Same
don't
thing.
Have fear of doing. Don't have fear of failing.
Same thing about getting on a stage doing stand-up comedy. I've done, since I've been in Bali, done 11 performances. And in front of like 200 people.
Yeah, it was so now your first one as well. I liked it.
Now I'm getting on a stage. It's so different when I was the first time. And just, instead of like, oh, but I'm not that funny. First of all, find out that actually stand-up is not about being funny. First of all, stand-up is about figuring out how to writing it, how to do the punchlines, how to do all those things. You can be funny among your friends. That's not stand-up. So when people don't get it.
It's funny. That night I saw Chris.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, you're one of the only guys I really laugh at. He was like, oh, fucking hell, okay. It's kind of an awkward comment. And then I realized that he'd been training a lot of guys. And then like those guys, was the first time I saw these guys he'd been training. They were all really good and working hard. And I was like, oh shit, that was a freaking funny night. And
dude, it's getting better and better. You have to come back to Deus. Listen, Dom. This was fucking amazing. Next time I'm gonna have much better equipment. We can talk like 5 hours in a row.
Part 2.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have part 2. So when I'm back from UK, I'm hopefully gonna have my own place, and then we can do it, dude. Thank you so much.
Man.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Makasih.
Makasih.
That's here. They said this is how we say thank you. Boom.